As the battle for the belt rages on here in the Quake Pro League Stage 3, we move on now to another exciting matchup. Av3k, he's been looking better and better as the weeks have gone by, not only outside of the server with that dashing hair, but also when it comes to his fragging capabilities. And today he'll face off versus k1llsen, Harry.
Yes, now, k1llsen, you don't see a low frag game from him. Very aggressive, always contesting everything in every way possible. And this is a man Av3k has to be really careful with. We've seen how well Av3k's been playing recently, but what can k1llsen do here? We know he's second on leaderboard at this point in time. The consistency is super high, and he's always having some of the best plays that we've seen from him over the last year. But my word, the aggression from him, the aim skill, everything, he's got the full package here. But would it be enough against a strong Av3k? But then again, what kind of Av3k are we going to have today? That's going to be the next question. But with k1llsen, he always plays his A game every single time without fail. And he's a massive nuisance every way, shape or form.
Oh yeah, k1llsen is hard to overthrow at the best of times. He is an absolute lunatic, and he is full of confidence when it comes to his playstyle, which is worrying combinations to go up against. Although for his opponent in Av3k, there's a chance that maybe he'll be able to overthrow. He's been taking down some of the best recently. He has been racking up some huge results, but it's a matter of, is it consistent? Is it something that's going to carry on? And will he be able to make another big player reach their endpoint against him?
I love what you said there at the end point phrase, but yeah, you are absolutely right.
You've got to get the branding right. You've got to push it.
Yeah, of course. You know, I wouldn't say any other way. But yeah, you're right though. Av3k is similar to Cypher, where online doesn't show his true form on multiple occasions, but recently his form has been immaculate at this stage. And the thing about Av3k has got a strong game sense. His individual ability is next to none. And then what can k1llsen do here? It's more on Av3k's side, really, what he can do. Because k1llsen, we know what he's like. Yeah. His fragging capability is just ridiculous, like you said before. I think that's the word, is a lunatic. Yeah. That's probably the best word to actually, say for him. But Av3k, if he plays like he did recently in his recent form and doesn't go off form in any way, then k1llsen may have a bit of trouble.
Oh, yeah. It's a matter of confidence, right? Because k1llsen, that's why he plays so well, is that he knows he's good, and he knows that he can come out absolutely swinging. He'll come out windmilling into a matchup and just be able to overthrow and run away with it, right? But if you're facing off versus Av3k now that's actually getting momentum behind him, he's a good player. He's been around for so long because of that reason, right? By no means is he just turning up to play. He can dismantle his opponents when he's on form, and it's sort of the question we always have with Tox of like, how is he looking? Whereas now it's got to a point where it's not sort of that debate. It's just Av3k is looking good again. Av3k is looking absolutely outrageous, and he's coming out to play each and every week.
He looks great on and off the server, doesn't he? He's got the best hair in probably Pro League to, it's hard to say really, but like with him, on the server, it does depend on what kind of Av3k we see here now. Yeah, sure, he has the best hair in Europe, but will he be the best in-game at this point in time? I think we can see a lot from him. As long as his game sense is strong and he actually retaliates in every way against k1llsen, he should be okay. He should be fine, but I'm not calling it as of yet because I want to see how the first map goes before we judge him in any way.
Well, let's find out. We do have the picks and bans, so we can see if that is going to affect anything. You said he looked good with the hair. The hair's looking good. The nipples are looking good as well. They look ready for action. What do you think of the veto, Harry?
Well, I wasn't looking at the maps at that time when you said that, to say the least. But Awoken, yeah, this is going to be a close one to call. With the Doom, you can see that Av3k's looking for the aggression. k1llsen have the opportunity to try and get away with the Nyx if possible. Ruins, it could be quite slow depending on how k1llsen uses the range, especially with the Dire Orb. But Molten Falls, another slash play coming in. And you saw Dramus with his defensive rails and choosing when and how he actually wants to take the engagements. We're going to see a lot of that. So it's going to be quite an aggressive start, I feel like, but towards the end of Molten Falls, when it gets that far, of course, it's going to be too tough to call. But seriously, Av3k needs to not let k1llsen get too ahead of himself.
Problem is, if you ever see k1llsen come out to play and he's on a Nyx, I'm already worried. Because once he's chosen Nyx, it's a little bit too late already. it's a champion that he absolutely excels at playing. I think he loves playing as well, and he's going to be happy about that. Also, Awoken is a map that works so well for him. He'll literally just lock down the middle of the map, and as soon as he's been able to establish control, that's all he's going to do. k1llsen, I don't know, he plays so similarly on each and every map that it literally comes to a point of his control approach to the game is so good that it's worrying. And you've let him get nicks as well. That's another little aspect that will come in, especially on a map like Awoken. I think it's going to be an edge.
Ban the Visor as well on top of things, so it's not hard counted in any way. A lot of people do use Visor now and then on Awoken, but we haven't really seen much of him on Awoken throughout these past matches, but we'll have to see what we can do there as we head into map number 1 between Av3k and k1llsen and see if Av3k can show his true form once more.
Yeah, if he can try and keep up everything he's been doing in these last couple of weeks. Well, let's see. As we step into it, k1llsen, we're going to start it off on his POV, and he's already done a little bit of damage with that tri-bolt. What more can he get out of this? On the Nyx as well, of course, so being able to farm those hourglasses to have as many ghost walks as possible is going to be a recipe for success for this man.
Yeah, the hourglasses are absolutely vital for him. So he has multiple occasions he can try and get away. It takes a little bit of damage, but managed to get the heavy anyway, so I'm sure he won't be too worried about that. But look at Av3k stacked. It's going to be played very slow from what we kind of made the assumption of earlier. And Av3k does have that top mid control. k1llsen knows exactly where he is and isn't even going to try and fight that engagement. It's going to let him come to him, which is perfectly understandable considering the scenario he could face later on. But he's going to maybe charge for that Mega instead of the heavy. Puts him back a little bit with the LG, but gets the Mega anyway. Surely Av3k has to back away, which he does, but he's going to go and rotate and get the heavy, but just barely staying alive. It's such a slimmer of health. But can he get away though? Av3k's just playing the slow game, making him think that it's already rotated. But he knows full well where exactly he is. That one well could have gave him that first frag, but it's not to be.
k1llsen is so crisp. He's come out there and already, like the shots he's hitting with the LG, the prediction before he turned the corner. You know, a lot of people obviously still even at times call him Railson, but I think it's just k1llsen in general because he's just crisp. He's ridiculous with some of the shots he hits. But we focused on him too much there. We didn't even see the fact that Av3k has just been able to sneak up and overthrow. Gets the first frag. He's not content with one. He wants to double down as he'll take a second bite. That's already a 2-0 scoreline. He could make it a third here. Oh, Ghost Walk. By the skin of his teeth, he survives. And it's just one HMG bullet, a little tap straight to the head.
I'm surprised he didn't try and run away after that, but doesn't matter too much as you see there. k1llsen already managed to tie things up. He's going to try and rotate around to see if he can catch him off guard, which he doesn't. It will go towards the Mega side and try and gain a little bit of weaponry going forward. But k1llsen knows where he is now. He's going to be the aggressor here, but at least he's got that top mid control and he's just taking it slow. Gets the first rail off. Will he get the second? No. Oh, just barely, my word. And still has that Mega again with a nice stack. Av3k's in trouble here.
Pre-fire rocket as he expected the push to come around the corner from Av3k. k1llsen just dismantling him now as he spams down rocket after rocket, punishing him and forcing him into an awkward situation. It's a 3-2 scoreline already. Crazy how quickly k1llsen actually was able to completely wipe the floor of Av3k after the 2 frags he found in rapid succession.
Definitely caught him off the respawn on numerous occasions. Has the height advantage, so it's a good time for him to use that LG. Got a nice bit of chunk of damage down. But what will Av3k do here to get out of the poor spot he's in? As he's going to see what he can do now. Will have the opportunity to get out of the bad predicament he was in, and now k1llsen's stack was quite large. Managed to get at least one railer from Av3k, but I love this Ghost Walk to try and these flank rounds, catch him off guard, gets the Mega on top of things, and Av3k just manages to get away. But for how long for?
Ooh, rockets raining down. It's just going to absolutely implode him as he hits him directly in the noggin, and that is another frag racked up for k1llsen. Building a bit of momentum now as well, starting to get the speed behind him. And once he feels comfortable, you'll see him start to lock down towards the middle of the map. He'll start to absolutely assert dominance. The rails are on point as well. There's a reason why people discuss just how effective he can be with this weapon.
My words. Av3k just managing to stay alive there. k1llsen's on a similar stack in all fairness, but who is going to make that first mistake in the first push? Av3k's trying to bait him out, but not falling for any of it. Gets the first rail. Will he get a second one? It will not bit to be as Av3k backs away once again. He's trying to figure out a way to try and get out of the situation he's in, but he might get caught off guard here. Nice rocket straight away, and k1llsen increases his lead.
Blows his feet clean off there, makes it cheaper to buy shoes. That was a nice way of taking him down. Armor pickup as well coming back through as he's going to find himself the heavy, and it's already a 5-2 scoreline. So the first 2 frags of the game were achieved by Av3k. Since then, it has only been k1llsen doing the killing. Another one picked up as he's going to frag out Av3k once more. And this is the problem. As soon as k1llsen comes into his own, he feeds off that confidence. He is a confident man.
And what comes with confidence? The gun skill, and he is seriously shown it over the last couple of minutes. Av3k has had no room to breathe. He's trying to get out of so many predicaments, but just not had the chance. And k1llsen's just everywhere at this point, has completely got his number. But it's still not too little too late. Still got just over 4 minutes on the clock. And Av3k has taken a little bit more damage, but how's k1llsen gonna capitalize on this?
Stopwatch.
Ooh. Nice tags. Doing a fair bit of damage. Drops down, looking over towards the heavy. That's going to be the active actually used for Av3k as well, just to try and escape on the Doom there, so he has to try and run away with it. Will get out. Slowly getting some semblance of a nice stack back, but k1llsen is still just popping him at every opportunity whenever the angle is there, and this is where it actually could really haunt him. He's so low. Oh, if that had been a few seconds sooner, that tri-bolt could have really had some impact.
Av3k's done a good job getting away here and there, but it's only enough time left. And my word, finally gets taken down. Av3k's making it seriously hard work for k1llsen to get these frags. But k1llsen's just on top of things. Some of these unorthodox rails he's putting out, keeping him at bay, making sure he sectionizes the map in every way, shape or form. Treats it like an ice cream scoop in some ways. Makes sure he scoops him into a part of the map where he can't go past, and make sure he has that top mid control.
What, like a... Is it a Neapolitan? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Is it Neapolitan, which is like, you know, you get the vanilla, the chocolate, and the strawberry?
Yeah, yeah.
So he's scooping out like a trench in the vanilla right now.
He's got all 3 at the moment, hasn't he? So he's
he's
kind
gone
of,
like straight along.
Yeah,
oh, God.
yeah. He's got everything in a bunch of the barrel, hasn't he? So
What a madman.
I know he is pretty crazy, but what is crazy is these rails he's actually pulling off, gets the mega. And I'm trying to figure out what Av3k can do. You're not really giving much chance to contest these. Oh my goodness, these items, and the rails just following forth. k1llsen looking very strong indeed.
Apparently, having ice cream in the mornings is actually quite good for your digestive system.
Oh really?
I think so.
Yeah.
Citation needed, potentially. I could just be lying, but I think so. I've read that somewhere.
Where did you read that, in a joke book?
Maybe, yeah. In the toilet store, actually. Well, k1llsen, he's not joking around, is he?
No, he's not messing around. He's just been top and tail on his toes every single moment of the way. Top mid control's been phenomenal. And it seems like Av3k has just been struggling to fight back the entire time. After those first 2 frags, k1llsen just switched on his beast mode and just seems to be not giving him any room to capitalize on any situations. Finally gets a mega, but even then, the missed rail shot sadly could have helped so much more. But k1llsen now, he can play the chasing game. He can be the one to try and back off when necessary. 7 frags is probably a bit too much for Av3k, but a few missed rails here and there. But after what he's been doing earlier, he's allowed to miss 1 or 2, let's be real.
Oh yeah, you've already done more than enough damage, right? You've hit all the shots you actually needed to. That's going to be the Ghost Walk coming out again as another little escape tool for him to be able to get away. 60 seconds left. The only frags Av3k found were the first 2 kills of the game. Since then, there's still been nothing, and it doesn't seem like there actually is going to be anything more. Beautiful flick up from k1llsen. That's nice. Making full use of the mouse pad.
He definitely is. Gets that 10th frag on the board. No end in sight to his fragging ability. I said it earlier before this game. k1llsen, you do not see a low frag game with him. It's a rare occurrence indeed, and it seems to be continuing on going into this game with Av3k just struggling to get anything going and just doing everything he can, but just k1llsen's not giving him any room to breathe. Gets a rail off, he's railable now, gets away, stacks up a little bit further, 10 seconds left, and it's just a matter of time until the game ends. I doubt he'll get this last one unless Av3k misses a few shots. Nope, he won't. Gets a third on the board, but it doesn't matter. It's too little, too late. As k1llsen, superior show from him, looking fantastic.
I love the fact he was hoping to just do even more damage with his railgun there, rather than just switch out to any other weapon. So he was willing to just go, well, I've won anyway. I could get the extra frag with the rail, or I could just switch to another gun. But you know what? I just let it happen.
Yeah,
like,
you know, I'll give him one just for you know, just for the hell of it. But yeah, I think about 2,000 damage for Av3k, and k1llsen had 4,300, doubled his scoreline in terms of damage. That was the response there. It just never hesitated as soon as he had the advantage. It was just madness.
k1llsen had more damage than Av3k had done combined just on his railgun.
Yeah.
Which I think that says a lot, really.
That's just disgusting, really, isn't it? Again, another person that should be illegal for him to use the rail. But even though he missed a few towards the end, but it doesn't matter. Who cares at that point? I think he's allowed to miss a few, like I mentioned earlier. But just had his number, knew exactly where he was going to be. Av3k didn't play it slow, played it aggressively, which he should have done, which is perfectly fine, but always caught him off guard, caught him with his trousers down on numerous occasions.
Yeah, k1llsen livid at the way the game started. Never lost control after that point, was just really in the driving seat the entire way through, absolutely dominated, and has shut down Av3k in quite a dominant fashion here. So the first map on Awoken going his way, it's no real surprise. You look at it, it's Awoken, he's on the Nyx, it's an environment that he thrives in, it's a champion that he thrives in. It's also the fact that k1llsen, he's still in good form. You know, we haven't really seen him struggling in a while, so it makes sense that he's been able to lock it down. That is just the first map though, Harry. Of course, still 2 more maps to go. There is potential for Av3k to come out and still do a lot more damage. He's been looking good recently, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Well, he's not a man who gets a ticket to the Struggle Bus, as we can see. It's just been ridiculous. But the next map, I think it's Ruins, if I believe. A larger map in the pool, but it will give Av3k more room to breathe. It will give him more opportunity to go for these items. But then again, the way k1llsen played just now, could he?
Yeah, is he even going to have that opportunity, right? Because k1llsen, you know, they call him the cheater, but he's more like the boa constrictor. He just physically starves you out. He doesn't let you have anything. You're not getting any major items. You're not getting any weapons. You're not getting anything, right? He's
just playing with his food.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah.
It's madness.
It's just ridiculous, really. You know, you see some players play Awoken like that, and normally they try and go for the trade afterwards. Didn't give him any chance to go for any trades here and there. But yeah, it was his playground. He was playing with his food. He was the prey throughout the entire time. He always sectioned the map every single time, and just didn't give him any chance at all. But you know, if it's Ruins next, if I believe, then it will give him more room. Av3k will have more opportunities. He can try and capitalise on what needs to be done. But we'll see a lot more rails. And yeah, you mentioned about k1llsen's rails in that last map. My word, if it's going to be the same on this one, Av3k, I pray for you, my friends.
Well, let's find out. We're going back into it. Map 2 between these 2 big dogs of the scene. k1llsen already started it off with a belter on Awoken. What can he whip out here on Ruins? Is there any more shenanigans coming forward from him? As already the railgun is out, and it is leaving a couple of small love bites there on Av3k.
As you were saying that, Av3k came storming in, but he's not in a good space right now. He used to peek it to try and find out the info where he was. Too little, too late. He's now going to try and go to the contestation of the Mega to try and bait out that orb. Doesn't matter anyway. He's on his toes, left, right, and centre, not giving him any chances. Already 40 seconds into the map. It's already 2-0 in favour of k1llsen. And just barely misses that spawn rail. But never mind, he's done enough damage.
k1llsen. A lot of impact. Mere seconds into the game here. He's got speed as well, and he's using that to his advantage. Already back into a great position. Expects the push to come through the teleporter there for Av3k. Punishes him with a couple of shots already to whittle down that stack. into such a small amount. He's got the Mega, he was just waiting to take it when he wanted to. He could also go over to the Heavy if he's really fancying it, as he knows where Av3k is. He can drop straight down. He's going to muddy the timing slightly here as well, gets it to 10 seconds. That actually gives him a good amount of time to be able to set up a route between them both and carefully rotate between.
Yeah, I'd say he's more focused on the route. He wanted to delay it enough to try and, of course, not let him know when the Heavy's coming up, but he was already on top mid of the map. He could hear from underneath, so yeah, you're right. It is more the rotation, but as we're coming in, Av3k again taking down. Another frag for k1llsen. Will he get another on spawn? It looks like Av3k threw him off a little bit, delayed things further. We saw it earlier where one of the players was hiding behind the pillar on spawn until he had the opportunity, but as I say that, my word, lovely combo kill from Av3k. Just making things worse for him. My goodness.
That's big. That's really, really sickening stuff from k1llsen. Knocks him up and then absolutely obliterates him with the railgun. Really proving his point and taking that one home. Knew as well that the Mega was up and didn't want to mess around and give any extra time to Av3k there, so did start to fall back even after doing a little bit of damage upon Av3k. He's going to be aware that the Heavy's up, but drops down, gets a free frag off the back of that as well. That's so unfortunate that Av3k was actually just caught exposed like that, and k1llsen's now had free full rotations of these items uncontested.
You hate to see it at this point. k1llsen is just literally making work of Av3k here, and as I say that, he's trying to finish him off to the LG. Av3k's barely staying alive, gets the peak round, not going to do too much, and my words, again, another great rail from k1llsen. It's stuff you just love to see.
Oh, this is big. Already 6 frags. Basically 2 frags a minute. Over that now, as he's just got himself to 7, and we're only 3 minutes 15 into the game. Av3k, he's been looking damn good recently, but against k1llsen, he just seems quite lifeless. It's so hard to get anything going for himself versus the cheetah.
Oh my goodness. It's like I said before, you don't see a low frag game from k1llsen. Very rare, and he's just proven it now. Av3k just trying to fight for his life on spawn. Oh my words, k1llsen, please put that rail down.
Yeah, a cheater in both senses of the word, as right now he just looks absolutely outrageous. He looks inhuman with some of the things he is landing.
It's just inhumane and disgusting, but we love to see it at the same time. But Av3k is not loving it at this point. Already 9 frags down. Just trying to figure out the complex equation of how he can actually come back in this fight. Didn't worry about the Pika, just went straight in. He had more than enough stack to follow through with it, and he's got the Heavy once more stacked up. Total now.
What's scary about this is it feels like that's the second time we've seen Av3k go for quite a risky Pika, and I feel like he's actually leaving himself way more exposed than he would be if he instead just tried to full-on fight. Obviously there's times when you need to use it and it can be quite advantageous, but I don't know, Harry, the 2 times he's pulled it out right now, it feels like it's been at a disadvantage to his own survival.
It's probably because most of the players Av3k has played against have noticed that they become a little bit more defensive when the Pika comes out. But k1llsen realises this. It's his natural instinct. His instincts as well as his strategy on these maps are just disgusting. Tries to get the gauntlet out, and at least he manages to in the end. But he manages to get the rocket kill to finish things off. Gets the Mega. Slowly getting the items now, but slowly Av3k is getting a few more frags on the board. Is it too little too late? That'll be another question, but there was 8 frags in it. But at least he's putting the pressure on, which is absolutely vital. Managed to clean up another one, and this is exactly what we wanted to see. If we make a comeback, this is probably one of the biggest comebacks we've seen in the Pro League.
Yeah, this is a great way to start to chip away and bring it back. You've still got a lot of time as well, actually. We're only just past the halfway point, so if there was going to be an opportunity for him to do it, this would definitely be the one. He just has to keep this up. He can't afford to slow down and miss the pace that he was originally racking these frags up at. Expected the push round the corner, hoping that k1llsen was still there as he turns. This could actually be the 5th frag found, and it will be, as he finally takes down k1llsen once more. But that took a lot longer than the other ones, and that's the worrying aspect, is he still needs 6 kills.
6 frags indeed. He has the time to do it, but in what way? What is k1llsen's next strategy? How is he going to play out the rest of this map? But he does get the Mega, so giving himself a little bit of leadway, but he hasn't got any armor, and Av3k knows this. He knows how weak k1llsen is, and managed to clean up, finish things off. And my word, that was a close call, but we'll get that next heavy very soon. Just trying to see if he can find anyone else and get a health orb to complement things further, but he's found him again, and what can k1llsen do? Can he be able to stay alive? He might be able to. Will that rocket pay? Oh, yes, it does. He does trade, but at what cost?
How much is this going to slow down the aggression that he was finding? 7 frags. He still needs a whole lot more as k1llsen is on 12 and time is ticking away. We're coming up towards 7 minutes. So as good as that was, he still needs to carry on like that for a little bit longer. k1llsen gets control of one of the major items as well. That's going to be the heavy claimed as his own, as he'll pop it on his chest and look to try and punish the next opportunity here versus Av3k.
Playing it slow now. k1llsen, completely understandable. It is runes after all. And the defensive style may benefit him at this point in time. Still got 3 minutes to kill, but he has been looking pretty good. But as I say that, Av3k has found him, has got a much bigger stack. Surely he's going to go for this. Decides to orb down to try and get away, but Av3k is on his tail here, trying to find that next frag. But Av3k can't really do too well as k1llsen's got some lovely damage with the LG. Just tried to finish him off, but does get the heavy. He tries to peeker him out. And my word, who's going to come out on top here? And it will be k1llsen with, again, another great rail to kill off Av3k.
That's disgusting. Kills the peeker, gets the follow-up frag onto Av3k himself as he'll just strangle this Strog. Oh, looks for the shutdown. He wanted to make it a 7-14 scoreline, but instead it's going to be 8-13, as at least Av3k's getting something going for himself. But it's a little bit late, and it's still going to take so much more. If k1llsen keeps diving in like this, though, he could be running the risk of throwing this one away, potentially. The super shotgun going to send him off to rest. And now it's getting reasonably close. It's in the point where it could still be doable if he can try and get these next 4 frags fairly quickly.
Even though he has a bad stack, he does have to show that map presence. He has to push and he has to at least pressure in some way to put off k1llsen in certain scenarios. But as I say that, Av3k's up in the air with the peeker, does a little bit of damage. My word, that was very well calculated. And he's still got enough stack to push in again to find out k1llsen's next move, but k1llsen goes straight for that rail, but I think a little bit too much. Only 2 in it now. And k1llsen, my word, we would not have expected this.
Yeah, this is a crazy comeback, and it's also the fact that there is still actually a little bit of time left to work with. It's not over yet, and the kill lead that he had has got exponentially smaller to the point where it's actually now close enough that it could be closed out by Av3k. Take some damage to the face to at least try and keep him back and slow this one down a little bit. The railgun's going to nearly miss as he drops back down and towards the heavy room. That is a huge kill to find, and now we are really in a worrying position. This is where k1llsen could have thrown away everything he's built this entire game.
This is one of the largest fragging games I've seen in Ruins in a very long time, and Av3k is making it happen. If he comes back from this definitely will be one of the greatest comebacks. He gets a shotgun, but doesn't manage to finish him off as k1llsen cleans up, and he desperately needed that frag. If Av3k managed to make it happen and take it to OT, then my word, we would be talking about this for a very long time. But k1llsen manages to hold it in the final moments, 14-12. That was a great display of clutch moments from Av3k, even though k1llsen manages to come out with that win on map number 2.
No, yeah, that was really nice. I mean, the only unfortunate factor is that obviously you can keep it that close, but that one mistake is all it took, and k1llsen wins it off the back of that one play to shut it down. That's now going to be a 2-0 series in favour of k1llsen, obviously just left on the third and final decider. Av3k just struggling there in a couple of instances, just couldn't get it going. Obviously a massive comeback. For him to be able to close the gap that much and then fall in the last hurdle, it is unfortunate.
Even though some of the situations he was in, the stack wasn't great, but he showed the map presence, but it's the pressure he put on the most to make sure he keeps him away from the weaponry and makes the assumption that k1llsen's going to drop for the rail straight away. Makes the assumption that he's going to go to the LG with him and go for the armor. The assumptions he made wasn't just the average assumption, it was the game sense. He knew that he's played this map more than enough to understand what his opponents will do on spawn and where they'll go next, and he capitalized on that without hesitation straight away every single time. and it's such a shame. I would love to have seen Av3k actually claw that back and win, because if he did, like I said earlier, we'd be talking about this for a very long time, and it proves for anyone watching this on Ruins, it doesn't matter how big of a comeback you have to make. Av3k has proven that it can be done, but sadly he didn't manage to finish it off at the final moments.
Yeah, couldn't quite see it through to the bitter end, did fall short in the last few seconds, but kept it incredibly close the whole time. The comeback was miraculous. It definitely showed that he had a lot of fight left in him. Now, coming to the third and final decider, I suppose the only question is obviously we've seen some good things from Av3k at different points throughout the series. Is he able to put that all together and have a big, consistent 10 minutes here on the last map?
I think he can. It depends what k1llsen does at the start. You know, I think he let him get carried away a bit too much. I was assuming that due to this huge lead k1llsen had, Av3k must be thinking, it's over, it's done. Like, at that point with 5 minutes left, it's so difficult, and it doesn't matter how high or low tier you are as a player, it is, you know, absurd to try and make a comeback like that. On Ruins as well, maybe if it was, I don't know, Awoken, or maybe if it was Veil, yeah, I can, a little bit more believable. But Av3k should be impressed with what he done and what he could have potentially done if he managed to clean up that last kill.
Oh yeah, there still could have been a somewhat different outcome from all of this. The timeline could have been entirely different, but unfortunately that's not the way the cookie is going to crumble there for him. He does get shut down in the end. What has he got left in him for this third and final map? That's really going to be the big question, right? Because obviously k1llsen, this entire time, he's still just leveling up to what he normally does. He's doing k1llsen things, he's running away with it, the rail's on point, he knows when to switch it up, he knows when to really fully just dive in. Av3k, what can you do as we do get into this? A little treat. Av3k over on the saw lag, and of course k1llsen, he's on the slash. And I enjoy seeing him on slash. He is someone that does love the speed, so it's fun to witness.
He does. He loves slash just in general, and we've seen a lot of players using slash on Molten Falls over the last few months in the meta. But how is he going to play slash? That's the real question. Is he going to be looking for the defensive rails and then pushing afterwards? But he needs to be really careful here. But he knows exactly where he is, trying to get the aerial rocket out, but isn't to be. Ooh, that was very close, but he's going to go for the LG fight and force it out. And the Mega is still up. Surely k1llsen will get taken down. He hasn't. So 7 HP, just one more, and my goodness, k1llsen. Those rail shots were absolutely dirty.
Dude, they call him k1llsen for a reason, but that's just absolutely sickening. The fact that he's been able to find that frag and get away with that as the opener out of everything that could have happened. That's just pure madness. Av3k is going to be kicking himself that he has been manhandled or reptilian handled in that way.
Yeah, he needs to reset his mentality after that. I can understand why he went through. He's only on 7 HP, he needs to get something done here. But the aggression from k1llsen, completely different from what we see from Dramus, where he's very defensive, only focused on the rail chip damage. But he's using Slash in a completely different way, and we know the hitbox is quite small for Slash. But it doesn't matter for Av3k, at least he gets his first frag on the board and not let anything too much out of control, and k1llsen gets that much important trade frag.
k1llsen is so good of finding a frag off the spawn, especially when he goes up an opponent that's only just recently killed him, because for the most part, if you lose that much stack in a fight and you just don't have time to be able to scrimp and scrounge major items, or you're just too far away from them, you're going to be left so susceptible, and k1llsen straight back in, now doing even more as he carries on, just absolutely blowing them to bits. That's a huge kill to pick up.
We've seen a lot of aggressive players in these matchups in the past evening, but this is strategic aggression at its finest, doing everything you can. k1llsen did a ton of damage. Will be hunting for blood, and he's after Av3k as he goes through. Knows exactly where he is. Let's try and get that rail off. Managed to get a rocket down, doesn't get too much damage done from there. Has a shotgun, finishes him off, and that was very nice. Will he be able to survive, get the health? Oh, no, it won't happen as it's already been taken. And Av3k will get a nice cheeky frag on the back foot of that.
The fact that's the kill that he's able to find as well, just from the spit globules, it's funny. It's definitely paid off for him as well, as now instantly getting one more. He's actually got it quite close. He still only needs 2 more frags. We are so young into this last map as well, as it's just coming up to the 3-minute mark, meaning there's still a lot more to go, and this could quite quickly balloon out of hands for either side.
Right now, Av3k It's got an amazing stack to deal with. But my word, k1llsen has to deal with it at some stage. He seems to be playing a little bit more defensive, and Av3k is on the hunt himself, trying to have a look around to find out any info on where k1llsen could be at this point. Can hear the audio cues, has a rough idea on where he could be, and now he's just going to try and get away as he knows k1llsen has just picked up that Mega. The Heavy has come up, he's managed to pick it up and managed to get away nicely, but oh my word, he almost got railed off, only so slightly. Has to be a little bit more careful. You don't want to lose the stack you have now, my friend.
Lightning guns coming out, starting to zap him up left, right and centre, and will be able to actually take him down. So Av3k, this is great news for any of the Av3k fans out there. He's now in a position where potentially he could actually take this as a fair fight towards k1llsen and beat him out. Although, as soon as he turns the corner, k1llsen is fully charging in, confident as ever once again, as he'll be able to rip him down relatively low and leave him paranoid about his next move.
Yeah, it is a little bit intimidating when people are flying like that and manage to pull those shots off, but Av3k, his mentality is very strong. He won't let that get to him in any way. The Heavy coming up in 5 seconds. The Mega has just been picked up by k1llsen, and he's going to be looking to try and go for that here, but he's not going to contest it. He's going to let Av3k pick it up. But my word, this could be the opportunity to try and catch him down. I don't think k1llsen even expected that. And my word, managed to get away, but even then, k1llsen's still looking very healthy in the stack department.
Yeah, k1llsen, he does have the bigger stack. And that's always going to be a bit of a tactical edge that he'll need when we get into these fights. Still 4 seconds till Heavy's up. Av3k just going to hold it out and wait for it to spawn in there. Does grab it. k1llsen close by on the lip of the ledge. Isn't actually going to overextend and push over, or else he would have taken a rocket straight to the face.
Av3k now is just trying to find a way to capitalize, collapse on k1llsen here, because with the slash and the speed, he can get away of numerous amount of scenarios if he puts himself in. But as the Mega, at least he tries to contest it. Isn't the case. He's going to be flying well away to get away from that situation once more. But then again, is he put himself in a bad spot? He could go for this chase. He is going to. Will he be able to pick him off? He's on the chase, just barely misses that rail, but managed to hit the second one and needs to stay on course. Misses the very important rail. Will he get the next one? He's going to rocket him anyway. And finally, it took a fair amount of time and challenges, but Av3k managed to take it down and now equalise the scoreline.
It's only 5-5 though, and he doesn't have an advantage. It's also not as if the time's that low, this is really going to force him into a great position. It's just good that he's finally been able to tie things up. He's also got a Heavy to play with here, and he's roaming a lot more freely. It seems like he is actually playing a bit more confidently in what he can do on the server tonight. Lightning gun in hand, starts to chase down k1llsen as rapidly as possible. Doesn't fancy going through the portal and potentially walking into a trap. Instead, just sprints after him, looking to intercept and cut him off back over towards the Mega. He will get the Mega. He will knock k1llsen up into the air and try and then slam him back down to earth, spitting all around him. k1llsen, he's got the Heavy, but finally he goes down like a pebble.
The game sense, the instinct of Av3k right now is just next to none. He's doing such great work trying to collapse on k1llsen's slash. We know how difficult it is on multiples, but he's making it look easy. But as I say that, he's taking a lot of damage from their LG. Barely manages to get away, but as I say, that 11 HP. Will he be able to stay alive? Just barely from that rail. My word, the Heavy is up. Understandable, tries to go for it. He needs some leverage after that fight, but isn't going to happen, as now k1llsen ties things up once again.
Those small health bubbles coming into effect in a nice helping way to be able to stop this spread of fire that was doing the spread of the spit that was doing so much damage to k1llsen. Av3k getting more though, as it's now a 7-6 scoreline, and this is getting really quite worrying. Trying to use the plasma trail to duke him out as he spins around like a lunatic, gonna fall down as Av3k will finish him. Av3k could actually finish this in a 2-1 scoreline. This would be a huge result for him if he can get the win here into the series.
And it will be a boost in his confidence. I think earlier when he was fighting for that Mega, he was left on 3 HP after he picked up that Mega. I'm pretty sure of it. Literally one bolt of lightning was between the two during that fight earlier. But k1llsen's looking very good here. But at least with k1llsen, he hasn't got the stack, but he's got the slash to the movement speed to try and catch him off guard if necessary, or play cat and mouse. But it doesn't look like it. k1llsen doesn't care. He wants these fights. He's looking very good. A few missed rockets. Could it hurt him? Yes, it will. As k1llsen has finally been taken down.
Can k1llsen keep it up though? Can k1llsen keep it up in this sliver of time that he has available to him to go on to win this one? For Av3k right now, it's a 10-7 scoreline. The spit's going to be coming out. His firepower is definitely lacking. He really doesn't have that many weapons whatsoever. He's only really got the railgun and the nail gun to provide him with overall damage. Luckily, he's going to resupply there on the LG, but he still needs more. This is not enough to survive, and he is going down as k1llsen will get another pick. He could still potentially get this 3-0. But the fact is, he now basically needs to mimic what we've seen Av3k doing in the past few seconds of the games prior.
Oh my words. I just can't believe what is going on here. k1llsen's only one frag behind now. And that's the thing, with the slash, he can easily chase the Sorlag down, no problem. With Av3k, he can't play defensive. He needs to get a stack going and get it down soon. And he's got all the info on him already, knows exactly where he is. Made sure that he couldn't go anywhere else apart from that bottom side on the Mega. And will he be able to clean things up? It's still going to be close between the two players. Yes, it will. k1llsen has tied things up with a great rail before the overtime, potentially.
This could affect things so greatly. It looks like we will be forced instead into a sudden death that will have much more weight on the overall decider of how this is going to go. And that's what is quite scary for our 7th matchup of the night. Left to their own intervention, it could have been a different outcome. For now though, it's all down to this sudden death. The corner is turned by k1llsen. As he gets out that LG, starts to zap him down. Av3k within inches of his death. All it takes is a little bit more damage to come out. Oh, and in the end, it's the ring out that will finish him as he gets tapped over the edge, goes flying, and falls to his death.
It's k1llsen after all. Like, with the slash, you can make that comeback. The possibility and the potential there, you definitely can without a doubt. And that's the thing with Av3k and Sorlag, you can't play defensively. You have to be prepared for those defensive rockets and the rails and just keep them at bay. But it's very hard against a slash, especially if k1llsen's using one. Yeah, it's extremely difficult.
Oh yeah, he did quite well with a lot of the hero picks that he actually had coming out there. The champions played into him very well. He was able to just absolutely overrun for the most part. And the whole series was basically the k1llsen show. You know what? On Awoken, we saw 2 frags from Av3k. Those were the first 2 frags of the game. And then k1llsen just went on a tear until the game was over. It's just k1llsen, man. What can you do against him when he's feeling confident?
Not much. With the gun skill like that, it was... There's so much to talk about. The second map, Av3k, you saw there. The comeback, it would have been the comeback of the Pro League if it happened. No, it wasn't the case. Av3k should have taken that map, but k1llsen still had enough time to at least get something going. But this is the 2 rails. My goodness, that was definitely the game changer there. And Av3k, sadly, he just couldn't get anything going. He saw there k1llsen was getting all the items which is necessary, and then not hesitating to make any kind of pushes. But it's his instinct, the fast-paced instinct and moves he made. Av3k just wasn't the fact that he couldn't keep up, but just didn't have the item control to try and stabilize and balance things out.
Yeah, just sheer madness. Some cheeky frags from either side that pushed us into the position we eventually ended with this series going towards a 2-1. Quite miraculous, really, that it's actually gone that way with how things have gone over the course of the night.
Yeah, it's been very strange. This series has definitely been one of the more weirder series, but most enjoyable we've seen for the rest of the night. Like Av3k on Ruins, it was phenomenal the comeback he almost made, and we saw Av3k here almost taking this 3rd map, but k1llsen just doing k1llsen things, showing that it doesn't matter what time is left on the clock and the champion you're using. He managed to stabilise, capitalise, reset his mentality, keep that item control and the height advantage and keeping him at bay. And you saw this, it's just suffocating him throughout that last couple of minutes, giving Av3k no room. And you saw there's so many occasions you felt like, could Av3k get away? There was a lot of times we knew we couldn't with the slash. And just to add the piece to the puzzle, a nice little run off from there.
Yeah, just escape around the corner and that's it. Madness. k1llsen does walk away with a full 3-0, locks it down, absolutely smashed there versus Av3k. Av3k, he's been looking better and better, but I suppose he's just not ready to overthrow the cheater yet. Still just too hot to handle, too cold to hold.
I still think Av3k played really well. I still think he played it out of his mind. And I think, again, it's another series where it was a 3-0, but you'd have to watch the games back as to why it was a 3-0. It was just too many occasions where Av3k could have easily toppled k1llsen, or it could have gone either way.
Yeah, well, talking of what is coming up next, of course, will it go either way, as it is the big man himself, Rafa. Undefeated in Poland, he didn't drop a single map. It's a hard one to say will it go either way, because Dewey, although he's had a couple of nice results, beating Rafa is really one of the hardest things it seems for anyone to do inside of Quake.
Big ask. Tall order. Rafa, the man who went 13-0 at the Stage 2 finals, had barely any weaknesses, and anyone where we speak about, either like with Base or any other players, how should they do this, how should they do that, we should just go to Rafa and go, what's the answer to the equation? Because he seems to have the answers every step of the way. So how Dewey will deal with it, that's another question.
Yeah, well, that's why people call him the professor. You know, he has the answers to all of those questions. He is ridiculous at everything he touches. He's like Midas. Anything he touches turns into gold, but specifically just inside a Quake. It's absolutely outrageous. You won't want to miss it. Rafa, he is always fun to watch. Dewey, will his playstyle be able to overthrow him? Is there any chance that he could be the kryptonite to Rafa? We'll find that out when we come back after the break.